Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, 2 Jamaicans in ICE custody pending deportation. The United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency says the 2 Jamaican nationals convicted of kidnapping and homicide are currently in its custody pending deportation. ICE said Nascimento Blair, 44, entered the United States as a non-immigrant on March 4, 2004 and violated the terms of his admission. It said the Mount Vernon Police Department in New York arrested Blair for first-degree kidnapping on October 12, 2005, a crime for which he was convicted and sentenced to 15 years in prison. ICE said an immigration judge ordered Blair removed from the U.S. on August 4, 2008. Blair filed an appeal with the Board of Immigration Appeals, but the board dismissed his appeal on November 6, 2008. ICE said the New York State Department of Corrections released Blair on parole on April 9, 2020, and he was arrested on July 16, 2024. ICE said the other Jamaican national, Neville Larry Heslop, 67, entered the U.S. as a lawful permanent resident on August 18, 1984. Heslop was convicted of homicide in New Jersey on November 1, 1991, and sentenced to 30 years in prison. ICE said an immigration judge ordered Heslop removed from the United States on June 14, 1996, and that he filed an appeal with the Board of Immigration Appeals, which was dismissed on April 23, 1997. Heslop was arrested on April 23, 2021, upon his release from local custody. Jamaica would not grant a travel document while he filed a motion to reopen his appeal, so ICE released him on an order of supervision, ICE said in a statement, adding that Heslop was arrested by New York City authorities on February 4, 2025. Teacher charged with unlawful wounding. Detectives assigned to the Trelawney Police Division have charged a 34-year-old teacher with unlawful wounding following a fight in his district. Charged is Giovanni Johnson of Stettin District, Albertown, Trelawney. Reports from the Falmouth Police are that on Saturday about 3 p.m., a man was at a bar among a group of people when Johnson entered and an argument developed between the two. The argument became physical, and during the altercation, Johnson allegedly used an object to hit the complainant to the right side of his head, causing a wound that bled. A report was later made to the police, and Johnson was subsequently arrested and charged for the offense. His court date is being arranged. Farmer killed in Swift River, Portland. A farmer was killed during a home invasion in Swift River in western Portland on Sunday morning. He has been identified as Donald McPherson. According to the police, about 4:45, armed men posing as police entered Mr. McPherson's house and shot him. He was pronounced dead at hospital. Portland has recorded 7 murders since the start of the year. Man held over 4 guns seized in Thompson Pen charged. The man who was arrested on Sunday in Thompson Pen, Spanish Town, St. Catherine, following the seizure of 4 guns and ammunition, has been charged. 28-year-old barber Calvin Waldron has been charged with stockpiling and manufacturing prohibited weapons, possession of a prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of ammunition. His court date is currently being finalized. According to police reports, lawmen acting on intelligence launched a search for Waldron and subsequently located him. He was apprehended and escorted to his residence, where a search was conducted. During the search, police reportedly found 4 firearms, 2 9mm cartridges, and an empty magazine. Waldron was cautioned and taken into custody. He was later charged following a question and answer session. Sunday's operation followed a gun attack in the community the previous night, in which 3 people were shot at a shop. St. Mary man charged for pulling gun on teen boy amid dispute. A 31-year-old construction worker has been charged with possession of prohibited weapon and assault at a common law following an incident in Pumpland, Anota Bay, St. Mary on Sunday. Charged is Peter Miller, otherwise called Jeff, of Crab Hall in the parish. Reports from the Anota Bay police are that about 10 a.m., a teen boy was at a relative's house when Miller entered the premises and an argument developed between them. A fight ensued, after which Miller left and reportedly returned with a firearm, which he allegedly used to threaten the teenager. A court date for Miller is being finalized. SSL alleged the fraudster to seek bail ahead of May 2026 trial date. Ahead of her trial that is scheduled for May 4, 2026, in connection to her alleged role in the multi-billion-dollar fraud at investment firm Stocks and Securities Limited, Jean Ann Panton is to make another bid for bail on July 28, 2025. Panton, who has been in custody since February of 2023, was denied bail by two High Court judges that same year, one doing so in February and another in April. The developments relative to dates for trial and the renewed bail application occurred when the former SSL Wealth Advisor appeared for a case management hearing in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston late last month. Panton faces 22 charges, including falsification of accounts, forgery, and larceny. At the hearing, High Court Judge Justice Vinette Graham Allen also ordered that a trial readiness hearing should commence on November 13, 2025. According to local media reports, one of Panton's attorneys is trying to access a copy of the Kroll audit report, which was ordered by the Finance and the Public Service Ministry that was then led by Dr. Nigel Clark. The report was submitted in November of 2023, with Clark telling Parliament last March that the report confirmed that the suspected fraudulent activity and mismanagement at SSL and its related parties were much broader than was initially understood. The Financial Investigations Division, one of the several agencies that are said to be involved in the probe, previously stated that 200 accounts were affected by the fraud, with the sum defrauded exceeding US $30 million. Panton's legal team has argued that the Kroll report, conducted by UK-based Kroll Associates, could assist in mounting Panton's defense against the charges. But the prosecution has insisted that it has already disclosed all the relevant documents in relation to the case. Consequently, Graham Allen has instructed Panton's attorneys to formally make their request for the report to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Panton was subsequently remanded in custody. DPP Paula Llewellyn subsequently confirmed in a media report last week that her office was never in possession of the Kroll report and indicated that it was not used to prepare the indictment against the Panton. On January 12, 2023, news broke that millions of dollars reportedly went missing from retired track star Usain Bolt's account at SSL, which subsequently led to a multi-agency fraud probe that resulted in Panton being the sole person to be charged so far. 2 years later, Llewellyn finally confirmed that the allegations against the Panton, including a 22-count complaint that involves several complainants, list Bolt as one of them. In respect of Bolt, cumulatively, there are about 5 different accounts, including larceny as a servant and engaging in a transaction involving criminal property. The sum that is alleged in respect of the fraud, where Wellgen is concerned, that Bolt's company is US $6 million, Llewellyn told the news in February. While the public has been questioning why charges has not been laid against anyone else in relation to the matter, the DPP said then that the case is complex. She stated that the material is also voluminous, especially in relation to other suspects of the SSL matter. Llewellyn told the media in February too that she was awaiting a critical piece of evidence from the FID to complete a legal opinion on other aspects of the case, which does not involve Bolt as a complainant. Bolt also spoke out about the lack of information about the case from his perspective, which resulted in the island's 2 main political parties tussling over which administration failed to protect investors from the purported irregularities at SSL. Llewellyn then issued a statement in late February expressing concerns over the intense pretrial publicity surrounding the SSL case and warning that it could compromise the fairness of Panton's trial. I and my assigned senior prosecutors in the case humbly requested that members of the public be judicious with their public discourse in this matter, otherwise it may compromise the prosecution of the matter and also ongoing investigations into other aspects of the SSL matter, Llewellyn stated then. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.